Good afternoon. My name is Niko host of the political radio show Mikasa Sukasa, and I urge you all to join our One Follow $1 campaign, where we show the mainstream media that we do not need them anymore. That $1 for every subscriber that your favorite independent journalist has is not a lot of money to you all, but as a statement, it could actually be revolutionary to show that we're going to start supporting those who bring us the truth rather than constantly purport propaganda constantly. So also I would like to welcome to our One Follow $1 campaign the Inside News Network, obviously along with Tim Black, H.A. Goodman, and Hard Bastard, and I will post all of their links below. I wanted to talk to you all about something that is actually pretty exciting for those who enjoy seeing justice prevail. For those of you who have watched me for quite some time, and there are a lot of you, I used to take a lot of hits for saying something that I, to this day, obviously still say. I think that Trump would be better overall for the world than Hillary Clinton. And people looked at me like I was absolutely out of my mind. But the truth of the matter is, I actually understand how politics works, and I understand how deeply rooted the Clinton mob really is. And I also understand I was hired by a super PAC to investigate her campaign and then her super PACs. I saw just like her tentacles really have no limit when it comes to politics, as we've all witnessed during the elections and even now. I said that I don't want her to win. And they were like, what about the Supreme Court? And the Supreme Court was actually one of the main reasons I did not want her to win that election. Why? Because if Hillary Clinton makes it a corporatist, centrist, Clinton Foundation owned Supreme Court, which is what we were looking at having, there would be absolutely no accountability for anything that happened. That entire election would happen prior to the election, or anything that Hillary Clinton or anybody in her campaign, administration, or otherwise attached to the Clinton Foundation does later on, that would be held accountable. Everybody would walk off scot-free if they didn't get it completely and totally ignored and they somehow managed to find criminal charges federally just because of the state that they reside in, very similar to what Debbie Wasserman Schultz is going through right now. Eventually, she would either pardon the issue, or she would either pardon the person involved, or it would go up to a Supreme Court that was owned and created by Hillary Clinton, because she would be placing 2 Supreme Court justices in that courthouse or in that courtroom, and we would be screwed. Our progressive movement would ultimately be set back by decades, because there would be no accountability at the highest levels. The balance of power in the government would essentially be non-existent, because she would literally have control of all 3 branches if she was successful. She would have control of the corporate Democrats in the House and the Senate, the Supreme Court, and obviously the executive office. And on the private side, she would still have the Clinton Foundation, obviously running laundering schemes and doing quid pro quo behavior overseas and well, local and abroad, really. So I'm actually very happy to report that the House conservatives have actually shifted from the Russia conspiracy theory, took a committee that was meant to investigate Trump's Russia probe, or excuse me, obstruction of justice from Comey in the for the Russian probe, and said, you know what? We need to actually talk about some of those things that Comey brought up in this little interview or this hearing that we had in front of the Judiciary Committee. Did you say that you leaked top secret documents? Did you say that you called an investigation a matter, and then in Trump's case, you called the matter an investigation? These are things we need to talk about. And matter of fact, why did you say there was no intent? Clearly, when there clearly was. And it's beautiful. The Judiciary Committee is about to investigate, and it is about to be hellacious for the corrupt establishment, corporatist Democratic Party. According to David Weigel from the Washington Post, which I'm not necessarily a fan of him, like H.A. said in his video, but you know, this is huge. The Republicans, Andy Biggs, Matt Gaetz, Jim Gordon and Mike Johnson have co-sponsored an amendment, a draft version of which was obtained by the Washington Post, that would hollow out a bill from Representative Pramila Jayapal demanding, who's a Democrat, by the way. That's the one who tried to introduce the bill to investigate Trump for the obstruction of justice, which is not expected to pass, but demands information sets related to issues such as the scope or application of Attorney General Sessions' recusal and any system used by the White House to secretly record conversations between Trump and the director Comey. The conservative amendment would remove all those requests, replace them with demands for information on leaks by James Comey on the propriety and consequence of immunity deals given to the possible Hillary Clinton co-conspirators, and James Comey's knowledge of the purchase of majority stakes in the company Uranium One by the company Rosatom. A story revealed in 2015. Those of you know that, the 20% uranium deal. But it gets better. They also talk about the decision like I said, the decision by James Comey to usurp the authority of the Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, and an unusual announcement that criminal charges would not be brought against Hillary Clinton following her unlawful use of the private email server. The knowledge of impressions of ex parte conversations between the Attorney General Lynch and former President Bill Clinton, June 26. I mean, they're going to try to investigate every single aspect of not only the email probe, but also the problems during the election. Now, if you combine this with the fact that Trump came out openly, even CNN reported this, saying that he's considering firing Sessions, not necessarily because of the recusal, because he forgot he had talked to a Russian ambassador, but actually because of his inaction when it comes to him supposedly working on the prosecution of Hillary Clinton. So what it looks like is that we have people in office, although we obviously don't agree with everything they do. We don't agree with the Trump care. Got it. We don't agree with what even the transgender thing. I've had a lot of issues arguing with people about that today. But let's be very clear. We need to celebrate victories when they come. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a victory. This, ironically enough, is democracy in action. Democracy isn't always convenient for us, but it is absolutely necessary. And I'm absolutely just thrilled. I just can't believe that this is actually happening because, mind you, myself, H.A. Goodman, especially H.A., Tim Black and others have been saying, even like I said, once again, especially H.A. Goodman, go subscribe to his channel if you haven't yet. But the man has been saying that Comey was going to be investigated. The man has been saying that Clinton is going to be held accountable. The H.A. Goodman and George Webb were saying that the Alwyn brothers were going to be held accountable. That Debbie Weitzman Schultz was finally going to be held accountable. Like, he has been saying that this was going to happen because at a certain point shit rolls downhill, and we understand politics, so we know how Republicans act when they get a chance to hold Democrats accountable. This is a fact. So I'm gonna post the article below. Check it out. Once again, follow our $1 campaign. Let's show the mainstream media that we're going to bring the truth, continue to break stories like this. Remember, we told you that we told you that this was going to happen before Bernie lost in July. We've been talking about this because we just simply analyze the facts. People talk about the Russia conspiracy is just that. It is what's, the contemporary definition of conspiracy theory, not fact-based. Everything that we're talking about right now is fact-based. The saying that Hillary Clinton didn't have intention on breaking the law, therefore she shouldn't be indicted, is ridiculous. Ignorance of the law is never an excuse for not following the law. Trust me, I'm a black man. I know I get pulled over by cops regularly for driving while black. And ignorance of the law in the South is not an excuse for breaking the law. So don't drive while black in the South. Just kidding. But seriously. Anyway, but seriously, y'all, this is what we need independent journalists for. Because for those of you who have been paying attention, you know that this was coming. And of course, the media likes to deflect constantly, over and over and over again. And I knew that the impeachment was coming. And I hadn't got a chance to make a video about it yet, but now you all are here, I'm gonna tell you. I knew the impeachment came because something big was about to happen. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is it. So they